What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Ink and Insights, your weekly comic book highlight review show where we talk about all the comics we love and some of the comics you may have missed. I'm joined, as always, with Stu and Nick here from Dr. Doom's Fan Club and Comic Culture, respectively. Guys, how you doing tonight?
What is up, man? Doing well, doing well. How are you? How are you fellas doing?
Doing good. Doing
Yeah.
good. Glad to be
surviving.
here.
We got another great week of comics ahead of us here.
Yeah.
We have the last week here, which we're going to be talking about real quick here, and some spicy stuff, some juicy little intel here from the world of comic book news. Before we dive into that, though, we already got some people hanging out with us, starting with none other than moderator extraordinaire Christina Payne. Christina, always great seeing you.
Hey,
Appreciate you. We got Simpleton showing up here saying, what up? Simpleton always dropping the hotness here when it comes to custom-made hardcovers. Make sure to check him out on IG.
Oh, yeah.
We got Dino Mites, the man, the myth, the legend. All right. Great seeing everyone here tonight. We have some interesting news to kick off the show here. Normally, in the world of comic books, even though we love them, even though they are such a big part of our lives, it's usually doom and gloom. But not today here, because ICV2 dropped their 2024 findings from their comic book report, and it shows an incredibly healthy comic book market here, particularly for the direct market as well, as we see that, sales are booming. If you look year over year, we are in a really good place right now. And we know that previous years, especially kind of right after the post-COVID timeframe, there was a huge speculator boom that hit the comic book market, and that drove prices way up and it drove people into stores. However, that's been retained. That at least the sales numbers have really kind of stayed steady year over year over year for the past 4 years. And that's pretty crazy to think of, because we always hear comics are dying, nobody's collecting. After the speculators go away, what's going to happen? It's pretty cool to see that not only have the sales numbers stayed incredible year over year, but also you can see comic book sales are still very healthy themselves. Graphic novel sales are tremendous, and that goes to show that readers, appreciators of the actual stories themselves, are really driving a lot of these sales. Not only that, but comic book stores make up like half of the book channels here. And book channels are always going to be the biggest thing because they have like the big box stores, the Barnes and Nobles, the Borders, all that kind of stuff. But comic book stores themselves, really, really healthy. Seeing this stuff, guys, what are your thoughts on this? I don't want to say I was surprised, but I'll say that I was really happy.
Absolutely. I absolutely echo that. Definitely. Happiness was my first reflexive response to this news. But yeah, I think it's a great time to, great thing to see, first of all, with the numbers. I think, really bouncing back and being the strongest they've been in a couple of years. That was really good to see. It's good to see that, we're holding the bar up, and we're making it happen, and this growth is being, like you said, being driven by local comic book shops. That's awesome to hear. I think for me, it's a win, not just for comic books, for books in general. You know what I mean? It's I'm a diehard reader of all kinds of books, so it's just great to see comics in particular, of course, getting a win. But yeah, I think definitely surprising to see. I look at these numbers. I think there's such secrecy, and it's so hard to get data and information on this type of stuff. I think, they mention that in the article. They were just going on what they had, which wasn't much in terms of like the comic book numbers. So it's like, it's really interesting to see where, or at least what neighborhood some of these books are at. And it was cool too, because I just went kind of down the rabbit hole when this came out, and was looking at like best of the month and stuff like that. And, it gives you an idea of where people are at. And it is kind of crazy seeing how many Marvel titles are in the top 10, despite just not being that great at comic books. Like, honestly,
I was going to say, based on sale numbers, right?
Yeah, exactly. On sale numbers. But like, it's like we always say about ASM, and you know what I mean? Like, support it or don't support it with your wallet, because that's, if those numbers aren't moving or staying the same or, improving year after year, they're not gonna really listen to us as far as demands and changes in storytelling and things like that go. But regardless, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it bouncing back and things looking healthy, man. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly too about the lack of information out there. One of the I guess positives of Diamond monopolizing the industry is that information was so readily available because they could just kind of gather all of that stuff from one resource, pool it. They knew the sales data, and it could be published very easily. Now, with it being kind of dispersed and split between three at the very least. Now, who knows what Ad Populum is going to do now that they're the owners of Diamond, but it's going to make gathering this kind of information even harder to do. So kudos to these people for being able to kind of try their best to pull this information together. Nick, what are your thoughts on this, especially knowing that you're very tight with your shop? You're like ingrained in everything that they do. So like, what are your thoughts knowing what we see here?
Well, I mean, I'd like to know if there's, and maybe you guys know, having read this, but like, I'm wondering if these are numbers that are from like distribution, like the sales from distribution to the comic book stores, or actually from the point of sale at the comic book shop out to their customers, because that's 2 different numbers.
Yes,
honestly.
my understanding is it's distribution to the shops, not shops
right.
to the whatever, to us.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm wondering and if you're a savvy shop, it takes a long time to figure out how much to order over your polls, right? So like, let's say you had, whatever shop you have, let's say you have 40 people polling ASM. How many more do you order on top of the 40, right? Because you got to satisfy the polls. How many more are you going to order? Those are unbought. They don't know the fate of those books. They're buying them on good faith that they can sell them to the general public as they're coming in. So there is a little bit of volume here. Some of these numbers are shops hedging their bets, right? And hoping that they can sell those books. So we all know that a ton of stuff makes it to the back issue bins over time, and that's fine. But it's probably not a significant amount. I'm encouraged that we're 4 years in a row doing great. I wouldn't have guessed that, to be honest. And I'm just glad the numbers are so strong still. Since the pandemic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The other part is it should be easy to get accurate numbers, regardless of how many.
It can be,
regardless of how many distributors there are. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I just don't understand that.
And so that's like my love-hate with the industry. In some ways, it's like, in some ways, it is so backwards, man. It is so backwards in the dark ages. The way it's so frustrating sometimes. It shouldn't be, like you said, it shouldn't be this hard. There should be more transparency, I think, both with this and like, the money that these creators are making, I think, out there. So, they get what they're worth, but especially, moving forward with AI and, the other options and resources they're going to have at their disposal.
Yeah. I just can't believe there's not like one unified, simple to use poll system for like retailers and things like that. Like, it just blows my mind how manual all of that is. And there's little niche applications and third-party vendors you can get with that make it a little bit easier for you. But I'm just so shocked that we don't have very accurate numbers. The month after the books come out, like that seems insane to me. But
yeah, I don't think there's any silver bullet solution to that, because there's a lot of problems that you would need to solve, being that some of the shops are reluctant to utilize similar programming, right? And we have the publishers also that are kind of playing a little bit inside baseball, and they don't want to give those numbers out. I think it's really fascinating when you got guys like Robert Kirkman out there, and he'll get on panel and be like, I know the numbers that I'm doing with like Battle Beast or something like that, and I know how many numbers ASM is putting out. And then he's like, he plays coy, and then he's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's X amount more. So like, I think it's like this known thing in the industry, but like nobody wants to just say it, like nobody wants to put it out there.
Well, they know how much they print. They know the publishers know how many they're printing. That's X, right? Like that's the max amount that's in circulation. And then they know how many they're getting paid for per unit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, there's invoices, there's things that you can track. Like, this is not rocket science, but you're right. It's just so secretive and inside that they just don't want to. And okay, I guess they don't want to. That's a shame.
Yeah. I think it was telling too, and the reason that I added this quote on there is that's the guy from ICV2. By the way, and if you don't know ICV2, it's a really great resource for getting a lot of the background information on not necessarily the release of comic books, but the business of comic books.
Yeah.
Check them out. It really great resource. But the quote that he ends this with is, for comic stores, despite all the changes in the past 2 decades, as go Marvel and DC, the 2 big publishers, so goes the business. And we saw better comics from both in 2024, following a multi-year slump in creativity. I half agree with that. I think that DC has really pushed the initiative to say, hey, we have to put out better comics with better creative teams, and we got to put our money where our mouth is.
For sure.
And I think that Marvel is kind of on their heels a little bit. I feel like, I think maybe they're starting to realize that they got to do something if they really care about, the end product being up to the same snuff as the distinguished competition. But DC has come on in such a big bad way. And I feel like they've tried in each of the 4 years where the comic industry we've seen has grown tremendously. I feel like we've seen something from DC that me, as a Marvel zombie in my past, has made me go, ooh, DC's doing something. And I think it started with Future State, and it just kind of has evolved. Like, nothing, I can't say that everything is stuck, but they've tried something year over year over year. And I feel like All In has really, really stuck in a big bad way, which has probably driven a lot of the late 2024 and 2025, what we'll end up seeing kind of stuff. So cool information, but at the end of the day, like I said, healthy industry, which is a fantastic thing. Let's take that all day, every single day.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Amen, bro.
All right. Now, Stu, you had another interesting news item that you wanted to bring up here. Why don't you tell the people about Ignition Press, what they have going on with ways that they're promoting their books here, and all the spiciness that comes along with that.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you for the intro. Yeah, so we got San Diego Comic-Con around the corner, guys, this weekend, right? Isn't that correct?
This weekend, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so they are making, I'm pulling from the Comics Beat article. Shout out to the Beat. Any of you guys that aren't familiar, comicsbeat.com, great website and resource if you're curious. But Ignition Press is making quite the cheeky debut at San Diego Comic-Con, as a new publisher will host a burlesque show and release a special ass can edition of the upcoming Voyeurs series to celebrate its release. So Voyeurs is by Leah Williams and David Baldion, I believe. Steamy new series, kind of looks much in the vein of what was it? Somna, I believe.
Somna.
Yeah,
so it's gonna win all the Eisners.
Yeah, something like that.
No, don't be salty. Don't be salty, dude.
But still, dude, I love this rollout. So they're gonna they got this ass can edition that's gonna be available for purchase at their boutique pop up. They got the Ignition Press Room, this thing is called, going down. 100 fans will also get the chance to see the burlesque show, which they're doing in partnership with the Herbal Elegance Review, and it's inspired by the story. I just think it's a super dope rollout. You can sign up for these tokens on their website. That the token you take to a machine at their I guess their press room, and turn it in for hopefully one of these tickets, or another piece of merch or prize or something like that. But I think Heroes is, to me, the con of cons. But I think one thing I do miss is the presence of publishers like this and doing cool and creative things. Like a lot of people, it seems like a lot of these kind of smaller name indie presses are kind of going hard this year at San Diego Comic-Con. I'd love to see that. I think Dark Horse has a nice little presence there. Oni, I think, is doing something. So it's kind of cool to see some of these smaller publishers and presses get to work and do these cool rollouts. But as far as cool rollouts go, I think Ignition Press really nailed it. It's on theme for the aesthetic of the book, and it's just going to give these fans something memorable to experience, and I think that'll be super cool. So I just wanted to mention that little bit of news. What do you guys think about this?
Bringing back the booth babes, I guess, huh? I mean, damn.
It worked before, man. Why can't it work? Why not now?
Jeez.
I don't want to say my famous phrase here, cautiously optimistic, but like I dig what they're doing. I think they have a really good team behind the creation of them, right? Jamie Rich, Philip Savick from Boom Studios, Jamie Rich previously from IDW, and they got Jeremy Hahn as one of their directors, right? I'm a huge fan of Jeremy Hahn's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, creative director. So I love what he has done as a creator, and I think that he could probably curate a heck of a team to put some books out. I can't say that I need to see the books basically. Like I'm past the point of getting like overly hyped for these things.
Yeah.
But something's building. I feel like this has the potential to be something really cool, and I like the fact that they're getting interesting, right? They're driving interest in ways that other comic publishers aren't right now. So that's pretty cool. They have all the talent in the world, and like more power to them. I hope that it hits in a big bad way. Like that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It does give me like, you know, I think cautiously optimistic is a good phrase to use though, because it does kind of give me distillery vibes. And like
I know.
That makes me nervous. But that said, you know, and I don't know if I necessarily have a ton of interest in this, like this title that they're launching specifically with this burlesque show, but I still think it's a super dope rollout. But you know, that said, I'm still, yeah, I think the people involved definitely, you know, has my interest and intrigue. So I'm here for that.
I didn't catch it. Did they drop the name of the first book they're putting out?
They've dropped the name of a handful of books here on the slide here, and you have to forgive me. I don't know them off the top of my head, but they have books coming out from Jeremy Hahn. I know he's bringing back a book that he did at Image called The Beauty. That's going to be one of Ignition Press's titles. They have books from Tim Seeley, Leah Williams. Oh man, I was just reading the article too just earlier today, and it's all slipping away from me though. I mean they're rolling things out. They definitely have plans. I think Cody Ziegler might have been on one of the titles too when they originally announced at least the creatives behind it. So yeah, they have a team of people ready to put some books out.
Okay, good. I was wondering about like FOC and stuff like that too. Like how close are we to open order kinds of stuff? But I'll take a look.
Yeah, it looks how Cullen Bunn and Marika Cresta are doing a book called Deluge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That one looks pretty cool. Stephanie Williams is doing Roots of Madness. Yeah, and then this Voyeurs one, I think those are a few of the ones in the first wave.
Yeah.
It looks like.
I think San Diego Comic-Con is gonna like bring a lot of cool announcements, particularly for them. And then we'll kind of see. I've already been seeing, you know, news trickling out about some of the announcements that are going to be happening from San Diego. So I think this weekend is going to be a fun time. For those of you in the chat who are attending, make sure leave a comment. Let us know what you learned, what you saw, and maybe what we're missing here, because we already did our con trip. We're not heading out to San Diego this year. Who knows? Maybe something will happen in future years. We'll see. Before we head into the comics we'll be covering tonight, though, we had a couple more people here drop into the chats, starting with Brian LCS here. Brian, nice to see you, man.
Brian, what up?
What's up, dude?
Let's see. We had Omega Slice hanging out with us here.
Station brother, what up?
We got Eddie Runner. Was happy to get Dynamite's book. Dude, yes. I feel like, everyone's been kind of singing that song, Dynamite's back.
I'm
finally.
With you.
Yes. Yep. Let's see here. Got Eddie saying, the data seems accurate as my polls seem to grow by the month here, talking about the ICV2 numbers here. Yeah, no kidding, dude. It's funny, I just had to email my shop and I was just like, I got some poll list maintenance to do. I got, drop these 2 titles. Add these 7 titles though coming up here. So yeah, it's gotten nasty.
That's the way it went.
That's the way it went. Yeah, I tried to even it out, and I'm like,
that bonsai tree is going crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll get into that. We'll get into that later. we got the neighborhood Merc hanging out with us.
Yeah,
man, nice seeing you. For those of you who don't know, man, yeah, check out the Neighborhood Merc on YouTube. He's putting out great content. We got to meet him over at Heroes as well. Check him out. In fact, he just did a review of a book and an interview with the creators that he met there. So good stuff. Check him out.
Nice.
We got Derek Neiman here. He's, man, like we talked about Christina Payne being moderator extraordinaire. Derek is also everywhere, always. Yeah. So
serious stalker vibes. Yep.
Yeah, he's a mad about YouTube for sure. Speaking of Heroes here, we got Dave from Still Only 35 Cents. A man we met at Heroes not last year, but the year before that. Nice seeing you, man.
Yep.
All right, we got Christina welcoming everyone, dropping all the links here. Thank you for that. We appreciate you. We got Rooster Blue. There we go. Yeah, the party can start. Thank you. We're waiting just for you. We didn't even start talking about the comics because we knew.
Yeah, what up, bro?
Rooster wasn't here yet. Let's see here. I think we're getting to the bottom. We got Rogue saying what up. Always great seeing you.
Rogue, what up, bro?
We got Metal Elf Collectibles as well. I don't believe I've seen you in the chat, but you're always welcome here,
Good
man.
evening.
Nice
Thanks for
seeing
coming
you.
through. Hell yeah.
All right. I think we got caught up here. Guys, let's dive into our first book of the night here, which is Absolute Superman #9, written by Jason Aaron with artwork by Fico Osio and Rafa Sandoval. They kind of had some flip-flopping going on there. Colors by Ulysses Areola and letters by Becca Carey. I really enjoyed this issue, guys. I think that this actually, my interest in Absolute Superman has grown. I was a fan from the jump, but I think it's grown each and every issue that we've gotten. There's been a couple speed bumps along the way, but I think that this issue did a lot for one of the speed bumps that I had previously, which is the characterization of Lois Lane. Stu, in fact, you and I talked about one of the previous issues where it was like, it was trying to give a background on the character, and it was leaning really heavily into the
She's come so
angle.
far since then, right?
Yeah, where it was just like, oh, this is who I am. Type, talk. Like, and it's like, dude, you're so much more than that, though. Like, you're not, it wasn't even like conveying the journalistic quality that she has. This one shows that, like, she's a little bit of a badass. In fact, I would argue that maybe she's more than a little bit of a badass, dude. She went toe to toe, stared down Ra's al Ghul without blinking. That was awesome, dude. I freaking loved that. That was like, of this great issue that we got, I feel like that was probably my favorite thing, because the other issue that we kind of, we were critical over, I feel like that righted a lot of the wrongs from that issue, and it made me feel so much better about the characterization. Not only that, but I feel like we got a lot of great character development from Kal-El, which we haven't gotten yet. Guys, what was your opinion of the book so far? Stu, I'll kick it off with you. What did you think about this issue?
Yeah, so we had our convo last week about Ultimate and Absolute, and I'm so glad we're kind of like, putting this book on a pedestal this week, because we spoke about it last week, and how great of a kind of a, what do they call it? I guess a dark horse candidate. It's been it's really come on strong here as of late. So, it's I'm glad we're talking about this one. But yeah, I loved it, dude. I thought this one was incredible. From, like you said, from the Lois Ra's interaction, Clark getting healed by the mother box. Like, what?
Yeah, dude, seeing that Kirby tech on it. Oh,
the Kirby tech got me.
Yeah.
And now, what are the implications of that? Like, it's already, and it feels like it's already communicating with them. Like, oh man, it was so fantastic. And of course, like, him kind of joining up with the Omega Men was I know we're going to get there, but was like kind of the icing on the cake. And just, I don't know, some really, really incredible sequences. I think, we did have a bit of like a fill-in artist. I think Sandoval did some of the pages, and, we had a fill-in on some of the other ones, but I thought it was pretty seamless. And man, this one was dope. And I like how they, they tied it back into, all the events in that town. I forget the name of it, from the earlier issues that our Superman already had that connection with. So, it's really, and I like how how afraid of himself and his powers and his rage like he kind of is, and where that's all headed. Because I don't know, it's just been great to see him kind of be a true warrior for justice and trying to help all these downtrodden people out. So it was an incredible issue.
Nice. All right,
Yeah.
Nick, what were your thoughts on this one, man?
It's definitely the absolute book that has the most world building in it so far. So we have Lazarus Corp, and we have the Omega Men, and we have Kal-El thrown in the middle of this, right? He just doesn't know what to do. He has a lot of emotion in the entire series. He's having to deal with just trying to be his own person and doing what he thinks is right, but he's being hunted down essentially by all these different characters, Lois and Jimmy and all these other corporations and whatnot. So he's trying to balance all of that while getting over the trauma of, him being a lone survivor, right? And watching his whole world get destroyed and everybody around him get destroyed. So I really like how reclusive he's been through the series, trying to, hide from everybody, just trying to do the right thing. He's kind of a myth, a legend that was all of a sudden brought to light, and everyone's tracking him down right now. So I kind of like that approach. And then the whole Kirby Tech father box, and I think they call it the father box inside in this one.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, when they said father box, I feel like Jason Aaron was just like, huh? Yeah, you like that? And I'm just like, all right, man. You don't need to do. We don't need to do everything absolute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some, but it was really cool, and I dig the idea of it being essentially his like Dragon Ball Z Senzu bean, right? And he got healed right up, but now he's starting to turn bad a little bit, right? And so what does that mean for the character? Everybody knows how strong he is, and so I can't wait to see how far that actually pushes him. And then of course Roz, man, Roz is such a badass character in this, and his presence is felt on every page he's on. So I can't wait for him to have a little bit more action. I can't wait for that character to develop a little bit more.
Let me ask y'all this real quick. What did you think he meant when he was like, "Now go get my son"? Like, what?
I don't know, but that was
right.
I don't know. That just seemed like a curious choice of phrasing to me.
Yeah, I don't know if that's meant to be literal or if that was a cheeky little wordplay kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting, but I think it was last time we were covering an issue of this book, we talked about the fact that, no, it was just last week when we were talking about Absolute versus Ultimate. And we talked about the fact that we don't know who all made it off of Krypton. We know that Kal-El did, but there could be plenty of other people. Maybe Roz is a title, not a name. It's the demon head, right? So maybe it's something different in this universe, and maybe it's not the individual. Could be Zod for all we know. I mean, who knows? There's a million different things that could make, but that definitely did make me raise an eyebrow and went like, "Oh, yeah, what are you saying here, dude? What is this?"
Yeah.
As we go through the issue, though, Stu, like what you were alluding to, we see Kal-El team up with the Omega Men, goes back to town here, sees the atrocities that the Lazarus Corp are putting everyone through, which is to no surprise of anyone. And we continue to see Lois go toe-to-toe with Roz here. I thought that this ended on a pretty nice cliffhanger for the issue. I think that it sets us up for future things that are going to be coming down the pipeline. Overall, I don't know. I just really, really enjoyed this. And to give a little peek in the background here, Stu, you and I were talking about issues that we could cover, and an indie got the big ugly axe to take over where Absolute Superman is right here now on the show. I think that speaks volumes because we're indie guys. Like that's kind of our bread and butter. So when this takes the place of another book that was put out from an independent publisher, maybe it's pretty good. I'm just saying, maybe it's pretty good.
They're doing incredible. They're doing an incredible job over there. And I think it's really, I think a lot of times with these launches, like the first arc or, the first round or something, they'll have a couple titles that'll win, and then things will kind of fade off and fall off pretty quickly, or they won't get the artist to stay on the book, anything like remotely long-term. I think the way they've kind of flipped all that on its head and really kind of picked up the pace and really ramped up and really done some cool things in like the second arc of all these books, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, has been really impressive, man. So I think like that's been the beautiful thing to see, is like to be able to really invest in this and trust it as a comic book fan. I can keep this on my pull list and not have a problem with that. I know this is going to be quality for however long they're going to continue to do this. They've committed to these creators, and these creators have committed to them. So that's a wonderful feeling as a comic book fan. And like you said, dude, it really got the tank treads moving on a lot of things that were kind of stagnant in the industry, and I think really, push the needle forward this year, and sales and growth and expectations for the future. So they're doing a killer job.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask a question here. I want to address the chat real quick, but my question for you guys, while I want to give you guys a chance to think about it, is there anything that stands out with this book in particular for you that really, like, I don't know, that you'd want to shine a spotlight on? Because there's something I wanted to spotlight, but I wanted to give you guys the opportunity. So think about that while I say hello to the one and only Fable from One Collection Down.
Station,
great
brother.
seeing you, man.
Hey, bud.
And we also had Omega Slice saying, what indie did this win over? And I'm trying to remember myself.
It was Wild Animals, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was Wild Animals.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yes, which is why Nick is with us tonight, because we gave it the big ugly axe. We 86'd it, and he says all of a sudden his calendar was free.
Yeah.
The line doesn't lie.
There he is.
The
There
line
he is.
doesn't lie.
Get out of here with that, man.
All right,
Get out
but
of
guys,
here.
is there anything that stands out to you that you feel like maybe doesn't get enough of a spotlight for Absolute Superman?
Nick, go ahead.
I don't know if it doesn't get enough spotlight. I think we've said it many times, but I think it's very valid. I think the artwork, I've loved the artwork in this series, regardless of who's on it temporarily, whatever. But like the color palette, the action, the explosions, his AI cape thing, which was a spaceship, just the electricity, the all the raw emotional scenes. Everything is always beautiful in this book, and I think that has a lot. For me, it's like, and this sounds obvious, but like strong story that's not eye rolly and consistent art. Like that's all you need, right? And we've had very consistent good art, and we've had a strong emotional story so far. So many times we have this like mediocre art with these cringy scenes. I'm not going to say which Marvel book I'm talking about, but like a lot of those books are out there, and you only read 1 or 2 issues of it, and you're like, this is stupid. And then you come into something like this, and like, this is a breath of fresh air. It's got that like more adult, mature quality to it, and they're doing a great job being consistent on it. So for me, it's like when I open a comic, I look, or when I see it on the shelf, it's got to have that shelf appeal, and as soon as I open it, it's got to speak to me, and it did that from issue number 1. So that's one big reason why I'm still reading this book.
Nice. Okay. Good. Yeah. Great calls on that one.
Yeah.
Stu, what
I was gonna say the same, but since Nick expressed that so beautifully, I will go with like the supporting, with the Absolute Universe being the place where hope is the underdog. I think this one, like you guys have already said, has had 2 of the best supporting character / villains, and Roz, like you guys have been talking about, man. I love how you guys have been championing Roz, because I think he really is just a badass part of the Absolute Universe. And then Brainiac, Brainiac has been the Brainiac origin issue, one of the best single issues of the year, I think. Like, just a ridiculously great tale. And I love how it's just so like when he logs on and gets the answers to the red dust, and then logs back off, but they're like, hold on, like, what Brainiac is this? He's like, all right, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
He gets off the network. Like, I love this incarnation of that character, how it's such a I don't know, perverted subversion of it. And just like him losing his shit and throwing the bottled cities around and stomping on them, like he's a hell of a piece of work. So he's just been such a wild surprise, because just in the shadows and Insidious and stuff like that, but you had no idea the true scale of it until we got that origin issue. It was fantastic.
Yeah, very true. Well, Stu, I'm glad you didn't steal my answer because I know that me and you both have been kind of standing this individual all year at the very least, right? But I think that Becca Carey deserves a little bit of
Oh, great
a
call.
little bit of a spotlight here. And this book is one of the many examples of some of the work that she's been doing that's really kind of shown the quality of work that she's been putting out. But I just love the lettering of this book. I think that everything pops, everything looks appropriate. I love the font choices that she's using when it's Soul, the suit that's speaking to Kal-El. It's just, I don't know. There's something that makes it such a cohesive part of the artwork of the book. Really, really shines in this one. And I really thought that,
Yes.
yeah, again, this is one of the many examples here. When I look at some of the work that she's done this past year, I don't know. She's doing really good work. We know names like Haas. We know names like Aditya. Becca is kind of leaning in that direction to me where I see her name and I'm like, this must be legit. This must be a quality book. And that's kind of cool to feel that way because I'm ready for another Hallmark person to really plant their flag and say like, this is my game now. So I think hopefully this is going to be that kind of thing for Becca.
Yeah. Amen, bro. Well said.
All right. All right, moving on to our next book of the night. We have Batman Dark Patterns #8, written by Dan Waters with artwork by Hayden Sherman, colors by Triona Farrell, and letters by Frank Vetkovic. This was an awesome issue. This might be my favorite issue of the series so far, man. I had so much fun with this, and I like that Batman in this issue, and even in the previous issue as well. The whole concept of this is I can't remember the phobia, if you will, the name of it, but it's all about finding patterns where there are none, right? Like making those connections.
Schizophrenia.
I mean, yes,
receiving messages where there's not.
Yeah, but there was a word. Like, I mean, it was I think it was the title of it, and it's escaping me at this moment. But I love that Bruce is totally paranoid in these last couple issues, trying to track them down, going into like the dregs of Gotham, like the worst of the worst areas that have embraced their terribleness and basically have become self-policing, self-sufficient areas where like the cops don't go there. It's a little bit like Old Town in Sin City. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the prostitutes run that place. Nobody goes in, nobody goes out. The cops don't mess with them. That's what this felt like to me. And Bruce in his investigation, you could just feel the obsession coming from him trying to make rhyme or reason as to the nature of what's going on here. It's just been some of my favorite parts of this whole storyline, and we see the development of the Doctor and maybe some of the background happenings with that character as well, because he's kind of been the through line for every single mini arc that we've gotten. Guys, how are you feeling about this issue? What stood out to you? Nick, this time I will start with you.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I just love the artwork in this entire series, and it just continues inside the issue here. There's lots of little homages, there's lots of callbacks, there's angles, perspective, shadow work at play here that just kind of brings you back to old Batman runs that we've all talked about before.
Yep.
I kind of dig the obsession in here. He's been through a lot in the last couple of arcs, dealing with some really crazy supernatural things, and I kind of like that he's lost his mind a little bit here, trying to solve like the unsolvable. But at the same time, he's also still on the other cases. There's a scene in this where it's like, you're so obsessed. We have these all 3 other open cases or 3 murders. And he's like, what he's like, the brother did it. And this thing
he solved them all. Yeah, right there.
Like, anyway, back to what I'm talking about. Like, what?
That's so Batman. It's so freaking Batman.
Yeah. We've seen that in shows and whatever before. And I love that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like when Batman, I kind of like that year 5 or younger kind of detective Batman. Like, I can't get enough of that right now. Like, we have this real mature and older Batman right now and proper, and we've seen other books and stuff, but I kind of really, I dig a Batman who's still trying to figure things out and gets surprised by whatever circumstance he puts himself in. And I love him with the magnifying glass, hunting down clues and trying to put things together. I'm just eating that up. And so, I mean, like that kind of Batman with this artwork and the vibe that this book has so far, it's just great, man. It's just such a good time.
Stu, how you feeling about it, man?
Echo everything Nick said about Sherman's artwork. I think you can feel how much fun they're having in, doing different things with these compositions, these panel layouts, like the page where he gets shot, and the way like you
Oh, with
have
the
those
bullet?
diagonal panels, yeah, with the bullet.
Yeah, dude.
Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
god,
yeah.
and the color choices, it was just fantastic and so beautiful. Yeah, and I love what you guys said about Batman and just like where he's at. I love Sherman's little 5 o'clock shadow that they gave him, and like when
Oh
he's
yeah.
talking with Gordon and the doctor, he's like, with a fine tooth comb, Sarika or whatever, and
Yeah.
he jumps out the window. He's like, always a pleasure, Batman. And Gordon's like, he looks exhausted. Like they're just like, man, he's going through it. But yeah, at the end of his ropes, and it's like I like him in these type of conundrums where he is in this, he's again a victim of this building or this group of people who are kind of like self-policing, like you guys said, kind of have always looked out for each other and run things their own way. And it's kind of, I was trying to see like the parallel to the villain in this one, and it wasn't like crying out to me like before with Scarface in the last arc. Did you guys get any villain parallels with the old man at the end and the young kids with the, what was it, like the red masks or something?
Yeah.
The
I
Red
mean,
gang or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure if a parallel necessarily so much as the villain itself, right? Like it is what it is, right? It was just the old
Yeah,
man
it's pretty much
character.
on paper. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. There's not
Yeah.
much to it.
And I think there's been a lot of interpretations of the Red Mask in the past because there's been allusions to the fact that maybe the Joker was the Red Mask, but maybe
Yeah.
not. So there's continuity wibbly wobbliness when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I think that this was basically just putting it right out on Front Street.
Okay.
Yeah. And I really dig a Batman that just pops into a window like that on the right there. Like I just love a Batman that just jumps into some guy's window. Oh crap, Batman! I didn't think you were going to be here. Like that's the vibe stuff I'm talking about. Like we see that in proper, but like the way it's handled and drawn and shown and how characters react, it feels like the animated series almost. And I just eat that up.
Yeah.
There's nothing like walking into your apartment, Batman pops in your window saying your full-on government name.
Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's gotta be a good feeling.
Yeah. Now, the other thing, and you guys, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I thought that this was only going either 9 or 10 issues, but I've been hearing recently that maybe it's been extended out.
What through my solicitations, I'm seeing 12 issues now.
Yeah, it's
I haven't
going
been able to
12,
confirm
maybe.
that, but
Yeah. So, and I
Maybe
see
it's
that we've seen through 10, and issue 10 solicit is the beginning of a new case, right? Which would make you believe 10, 11, 12, right? Like, why would we not get that? So I'm stoked, man. I hope that this is doing well enough that they did extend it out and they're pushing it out because like it's so worthwhile. It's
Yes.
dude, like each and every month when we get Batman Dark Patterns and Batman and Robin Year One, I'm struggling and I'm like going like, which one is my favorite Batman title? Because they just like they go toe to toe with each other. They're telling different stories and they're tonally different, but each one I'm just like, oh my god, this is the best Batman. And then I read the next one, I'm like, oh my god, that's the best Batman. And just it's like a ping pong match that I don't know who's gonna win at this point.
Yeah. So true. It's they're all so great, and it's like this makes me want that anthology style weird Batman's type of stories, like all the stuff that they used to do in the 90s. It kind of makes me want those type of series back because it's just been so great to see him. Like you said, Nick, in the early years, but also just in such weird ass circumstances. It's been so cool. So.
I just got to shout out Rooster Blue here, the world's greatest detective. After 10, you get 11 and 12. Yes, in fact, you do. Now you know my secret. I put on a cowl at night and go do my vigilante work here, counting past the number of fingers that I have on my hands. Thank you for that. I need to be taken down a peg or two every once in a great while.
Right.
So
We're all there, man.
Yeah. Anything else you guys had to say about Batman Dark Patterns here besides the majesty that is Hayden Sherman and the wonder that Dan Waters brings to this book, that gothic feeling?
No, it's gonna make a great collected edition, man. I really hope they do a
Yes.
hardcover deluxe.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Yes.
All right. Well, before we move on to our next issue here, we wanted to spotlight a little thing we call It's the Little Things. And for this week's Little Things, we wanted to spotlight the way that Batman Dark Patterns was starting off this issue, which was, I believe it was the first 3 or 4 pages, show a news clipping, the title of basically the front page of a news article, and then the action that is taking place with Batman in, the action that's taking place that they're writing about. And I love the newspaper approach to this and the photos, and where you see like a Batman off in the distance. It just, I don't know, man. It rang so true. And Nick, it kind of speaks to a little bit what you were saying, like the early Batman, right? The year 4, year 5. Not the Batman who is a myth yet, the Batman who's developing into that myth. And I think that the newspapers really drive that forward. And it's Hayden Sherman doing it. The dude knows. I think it was Rogue said it before. We've said it here previously as well. Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Nobody does a freaking layout like Hayden Sherman. Like, they're killing it. They're just one of the best artists in the game right now. This is a series that goes to show that month over month over month. And that's I think that was a good highlight to show as one of the many great things about this issue that we got here.
I want to see Dan Waters on Detective like full time after this, man, or something.
Dude,
like I'd love to see him continue to write some Batman stories if he has it in him. I don't know if he, some.
Are you guys reading Nightwing?
I'm not. Have you been enjoying it?
I was on for the first couple arcs. A lot of books. Like I said, I already added 7 to my pull list here, so you'll have to give me a little bit of leeway here. I had to drop it, not because it was bad necessarily, but I feel like it's a lot of Dan Waters finding his footing for something like this, and seeing that he's maybe finding that footing. It could just be an in, right? It could be a way to find himself on the Batman title, but we also know that we have, Tom Taylor just took over, so I really don't see him going anywhere for probably a couple years. Then we have the craziness that is Hush 2. And then after that, we have Tom King coming on and Matt Fraction doing Batman things. So it feels like the world of Batman is really, 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 occupied right now. But when the time is right, I think he could write he's proving he can write a heck of a Batman story. But give him 50 issues. Could you imagine what he would do? It would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, because like Arkham's Gotham City Order of the New World was awesome. Or was it Arkham City?
Yeah.
Arkham City Order of the New World. That was a great book. I love that with Danny on it and stuff. And then I was gonna say Simplin just said it. Dan's gonna be doing Shredder, so he's got Shredder coming out.
Dude, that's gonna be awesome. I'm really, really stoked for that.
I think it hits FOC this coming week. Correct me if I'm wrong, but. And then isn't the Batman coming out with Fraction? Isn't that one going to be, that's a renumbering, right? They're going to start back at one.
Yes.
So
I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for that. You guys excited for Fractions Batman?
I am.
It's Fraction, dude. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love Matt. One of my all-time favorite writers. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to our last issue of the nights, we have Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, #1, the sequel series, written, drawn, colored by Patrick Horvath with letters by the great Hassan Otsman El Hao. Dude, I enjoyed the heck out of this.
Yay!
You guys pulled me in, and I was late to the game on the first series, and by that point, the hype it didn't kill it for me, but I was like, oh, that was really good. I'm glad I read it. It was really good. But then I read this and I was like, ooh, this feels different, and it feels better in my opinion. You guys are the seasoned pros though. Stu, why don't you talk about this issue, your feelings about it, and we'll jump from there.
Man, so Patrick Horvath returns with the kind of the sequel, the follow up to his smash hit of last year, Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees. If you read last year's series, you will remember that poor duck who got, dissected by Sam and placed in different paint cans and buried throughout the forest. And where we pick up here is with basically that duck's sister. I forget the duck's name, but that duck's sister, who has been looking for her brother ever since he went missing, and has not given up the search. She's mainly been searching in cities and large metropolitan areas and really hasn't got out to Woodbrook yet, but eventually she is led there by an anonymous tip, an anonymous friend, we'll say, on the internet. And she heads out there to investigate her brother's murder. And I don't want to ruin the end of the issue for you guys if you haven't read it yet, so I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, she's we're gonna get the spotlight on Sam once again. And I don't know, I really loved this character from the jump. I just I loved her kind of toughness, the chain smoking. I loved like all the little things that Horvath does in this to really build these characters up and have you invested in them. I think he's like a master at, even though we're doing animals here, he's a master at like little small emotive glances and little panels where he's focusing on in on these characters' faces. Or I just like really love what he chooses to show you, and how he's able to get emotion not only out of these characters but out of you as a reader. So yeah, this one was definitely a triumphant return. It felt fresh. It didn't feel like sometimes when they come back with these and this soon, it feels forced and awkward and just not right. But this felt natural and a cool extension of something that happened in the first series. So what did you guys think? Nick, I'll start with you, bro.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot, man. It was my pick of the week, that when that came out the other week, and I picked it because I was kind of scared to get the sequel to the story because I didn't know where you would go from there. And I think focusing right now on, I think his name is Daniel the Duck. I think somebody mentioned it in chat. I think going back to that first kill that Sam did in the story in the first volume was a really kind of a smart move because it set the stage for the whole rest of the series.
Yeah.
And so to bring us back to that moment and follow up on that moment was kind of poetic. And I think it was a really good storytelling device. And then introducing Daniel's sister, who's like amateur detective at this point, completely obsessed as we would be in this, in this situation, hunting down all the leads, harassing the police department, almost. And I think it was really I think it was a really cool way to bring us back into the universe in a way that made sense, that wasn't Samantha driven. She's just an ancillary character so far. Who knows what it'll turn into eventually? So so the premise got me, and so I was really excited about that because I didn't know where we're gonna go, and so I was pretty psyched about it. Stu, you were mentioning like what Patrick does throughout the panels and whatnot, these little cheeky glances and things like that he has. It's really fun to be in this world, especially since we know who Samantha is and what she's capable of, and nobody else does. And it's like a secret that we share with her. So it's like her and the reader going on this journey, and nobody knows how brutal she is. And she's just interacting harmlessly, like with the grocery store worker and walking down the street and saying hello to the florist and things like that. But we all know she cut this duck up into pieces and put them in paint buckets in the first issue of the first volume. It's like, dude, nobody knows how badass she really is. And that's the cheekiness that I like in the story too. So they did a great job of,
dude, just to your point, like this page here on the right, like that in the middle, those three panels, like the car's coming down the street, we see the bumper sticker on the back of the car, and we see Sam's like little furtive glance stare, right? Like something about her takes that in, and she it's just beautiful how he communicates that. Like she takes notice of that, she takes stocks, and and it's ice cold. It's like it's just so well done. Yeah.
And then even towards the end, like I mean, even me as a reader, like I don't know what her plan is right now. So there's mystery, there's a hook, it's like, why would she ever want to get this close to this
Exactly. And
woman? I don't
that's what I
understand
love
it.
about
I
it
love
too.
that.
It's because it feels loose. It feels
Right.
like it feels a little bit uncontrolled, like it, like it is with serial killers in real life. Like it's so fantastic. But it's like I love that. I love how Horvath is able to weave like that, that real psychology, and I guess you know, I don't know. I don't want to say like human psychology, but it is a human psychology to it. Like it's just so it's just so brilliantly done the way it's
well, and it's like
incorporated.
it's displaying this overconfidence that Sam has because she's been doing this forever. Like I forget the exact details, but tons and tons of missing people. She's killed. I see like Dynamite asking how many she killed. I think it's either referred to or assumed that the number is huge.
Yeah.
Well,
We
and
may
there's a 10-year gap, I think, between the first series and the second series. So you have to assume that, even what we saw from the first series, like we got a lot of time where she's still been doing her thing, right? Because it didn't end on her like learning a lesson and deciding to be a better person. In fact, it very much cemented her being like, no, this is who she is, and she's gonna follow that through.
Yeah. She one-upped another killer, so like she's not gonna stop.
And it was like the way she did that too, by like killing his mom first.
Dude,
and
that
like
was
setting
awesome.
that up. It was just so brutal and so
good.
Such a great surprise. Like,
Okay, wait. Well,
I
we
know,
gotta
I'm
hit,
freaking
we
out.
gotta hit the
This is
pause
great.
button here real quick because Nick, we just talked about a mother being killed, and you're like, oh, so good, so good.
Oh,
And
it's
like,
so good when
and
he
you talk
tortures the
about
guy in
her
front of his mom.
stuffing body parts into a paint can, and you use the term badass. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit worried now. Do I need to be concerned about like where your head's at?
I've said worse on the show before.
Touche.
It's fine.
Touche. And there you go. And yeah, you already.
And it's so weird, like how like weirdly desensitized we are, but we aren't to like that shot in the beginning where the duck is just like lying there fully dissected. Like that, if that was a human being, that would
be like, no, I was like, oh my God.
Part of me is like, oh my God, but part of me is like, it's a duck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's weird.
It's anthropomorphic though.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So it's like it's such a beautiful conundrum to have.
Dude, okay, you know what? I have to actually agree with you because well, Stu, you and I were talking, and I said I watched Sinners last weekend, and there's a scene in that movie where there's like obviously there's a bunch of vampires. It's a vampire movie, and vampires are getting killed. They're getting offed left and right. But then there's a human character that gets staked. And in that moment, even though the vampires are totally humanistic, right? They look like human beings, they're getting destroyed. But this one person who looks inherently the same gets staked. And I'm like, no, oh my God, no, that's like so brutal and so grotesque. It's like, no, it's like it's still a human, but like just knowing that there was that difference there totally changed the perspective wholeheartedly for me. Yeah, so I guess the long story short, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sinners is great. Everybody go see it.
You can't.
Yeah. Oh, what? What?
HBO Max?
No paint cans?
No, because I just can't do it for Josh. I can't do it.
Okay.
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta hold out for my boy.
All right.
You got the MVP.
Bills fan.
Yeah. All right. Well, we had a couple more people join in here. Let me see if I could play catch up here. Ooh, we were popping off there for a second here. We had, come on, where'd you go? Voice of an Angel, wrestling aficionado,
Joe,
unofficial king of KC, Bro Joe, hanging out with us. Nice seeing you, man. Let's see here. We had a couple more. We had Phelps that were hanging with us. There we go. Here's Phelpsy. Always great seeing you.
Up, James.
We got Langford hanging with us tonight too, man. Always great seeing you.
Albert.
Thanks for stopping in. We got Jay. Late to the party? Nah, you're right on time, dude. Come on. Yeah, okay. So in regard to my feelings for this book, kind of like what I just kicked off with here, I did really enjoy the first series. I gotta say though, this book just felt different. And Stu, you were talking about it. It didn't feel like a cash grab, for lack of a better term. It felt like it felt like he had a reason to put this out. It felt like he had a story ready to go. And man, I'm really, really happy that that's the case, because with the way that this popped off, or the first series popped off, I thought for sure there's no way this is going to be as good. And my feeling with one issue in, I'm like, oh man, I'm enjoying this more so one issue in than I was one issue in on the first series. So
Absolutely.
take that for what it is. But yeah, my enjoyment level was like through the roof on this. I really, really, really dug it.
Yep.
Let me see here. There was something else I saw in the chat. Where was it? Oh yeah, there is something I need to address here. Simpleton, I'd like you to know that Fraction had reached out to me. We buried the hatchets. We're in a good place now. I feel like we're solid. We had a little chit chat over his Iron Man run. Gave him some ideas about where he can go with Batman.
You gave him some ideas about where. Oh
yeah,
wow!
he
I'm sure he appreciated that.
He was griping a little bit over Chip and the fact that he ain't drawn books with him anymore. And like we commiserated, but overall, I can say that me and Matt Fraction are in a very healthy spot right now. We're good. We're solid for sure.
Remember the episode of Seinfeld where Seinfeld goes on the late night show and Costanza's backstage and tries to give the guys from Cheers ideas on new episodes? Like, I feel like that's the conversation that he had.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
He's like, you know, enough with the bar, right? Come on. I know those are the kind of things Eric was telling him.
Like, doesn't he have like the longest run on Iron Man by like any writer in the modern era or something like that?
I don't know if it's the
It was
longest
like 60 some issues or something like that.
It feels like the longest, right, Eric?
It's the most enjoyable run. I can tell you that much. Like, his run on Iron Man is probably the best run on Iron Man, bar none.
I love it so much. I love it. I love LaRocca's art too. And I know he's got his detractors, but I like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably the last time I did enjoy his artwork. He's got splashes of enjoyment for me, but like not consistency. Like,
you didn't like it in the did you read the Cantwell Dr. Doom series that he illustrated?
Yeah, with Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, with Cocaine Bear. That's right.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, I read that one. It was fine. It was fine, but you know exactly where he's pulling from, you know. So
yeah, true. Yeah. Fair enough.
But man, he keeps getting paired with great writers: Christopher Cantwell, Matt Fraction.
He does.
Like,
he's fast, I think, right? Isn't that what he's known for? He's known for fast turnarounds, I think.
He must be, yeah.
Yeah.
We also had Simpleton saying, you guys are gonna have to sell me on Fraction Batman. Dude, what would be your selling point here?
I don't know. You know, he's talking about making this a more upbeat Batman and a Gotham in the daytime type of life. You know, it is what it is. I can understand if that's not your thing with Batman. To me, Matt is just I think he's always original. He's always fun. He never forgets. He always does something fun. And I think that's what I appreciate most about him. But he also does some really insane, cool things with comic books and pushing the medium and how you can tell a story. I think he really is. He's one of the best writers that we have in that regard. I know he hasn't really been on the forefront and, you know, killing it lately all over the place. He's been doing a lot of TV stuff, particularly Godzilla with the Apple show and all that. But I think he was the showrunner in that.
That was a great show, by the way.
It was a great show.
Really good.
But he's just an writer, artist, creator that I trust. You know, he's one of those guys he's got some. I think his runs on Immortal Iron Fist, like the Seven Cities of Heaven tournament arc with David Aja, was incredible.
Yeah. Who was the co-writer on
his
that?
His time on Hawkeye is literally some of the best comics we've ever gotten.
I was say, if only somebody had a video on Hawkeye.
I mean, seriously. Yeah. Yeah, go check it out. Surrounded by short boxes. But yeah, I think Hawkeye is just absolutely a next level comic book. And the things they did in that with, like, you know, the Lucky the Pizza Dog issue, the issue where it was all sign language, all ASL was incredible. You know, I can't say enough things about that book. So, and then, like, you know, even the indie stuff he's done. Sex Criminals is an all-timer with Chip. It's just so much fun, and all these books are incredible in their own right, but they're they're fun at the end of the day, and that's really what I love about Matt. So, just and this is big for a return. After being away from the game, I think he hasn't been away from the game. I think he's still been doing Adventure
Adjacent
Man,
to the
right?
game?
He's been
Yeah.
doing Adventure Man with the Dodsons, I
Yep.
believe, still. So he's still been writing comic books, but he hasn't been on any big two books or really been doing anything remotely like this. So I wish him all the best. I'm happy with it. You fucker. He says he's totally getting it. Okay.
Well, maybe it's because you sold him though. Like, come on, like give Simpleton a little bit of credit. He heard
No,
you preaching to the gospel.
I have no doubt in Simpleton's taste, but I recommend everybody check it out, man. I think it'll be interesting to see what he does.
Yeah.
I think he can handle the weight of it and like the storytelling a little bit better than Chip can, I think. So we'll
Dang. Wow.
really?
Okay, you're
Wow.
pitting them against each other. Okay. I just talked about the fact that we're all burying the hatchet. I was trying to mend the fences between those two, but now you're
Chip's got to be like nervous though. Like I know he's happy for his buddy, but what if he just comes on and crushes it? Like it's arc after arc of just.
I think Chip's doing just fine, man. I think maybe you're putting way too much into it. I think he's doing A-okay writing all the books that he's writing too.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I wouldn't want my best friend to follow me on Batman.
I mean,
personally,
sounds like you're a little bit insecure, man. You okay?
I would be insecure. Well, if I was Chip, I feel like it didn't end up the way he wanted it to, and the way a lot of us thought it was going to end up. So
I think they had a lot of conversations behind the scenes, probably about what Matt's going to expect with editorial and with the constraints and whatever. So I'm sure. I think this is a game where like you're ultra proud of your friends when they get gigs, of course, right? So, and I'm sure they talked about the ins and outs of how to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
I
think the Bat's editorial office also changed within Chip's run, and I could be wrong on that, but I feel like I remember hearing something about that during his time on the book. Not to say that impacted the quality of the book by any means, whether that be good or bad, but I remember hearing something like that. So
who knows? I will say the covers suck for it so far that I've seen.
The covers for Fractions?
What?
Batman #1.
There's isn't Tedesco doing the covers, the variants on that? There's a Tedesco like variant that's beautiful for #1 I saw.
I haven't gotten involved yet, but I haven't. Yeah, there is a Tedesco. Yeah, there is a Tedesco one. Yeah, that's one of the better ones for sure.
One of the better ones. The glowing review.
Yeah. There's a Frank Quietly that's pretty tight. I like that one too.
Oh yeah, Frank Quietly.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm there for it. It's Batman. Like Batman is like pizza. Even bad Batman is good Batman. So like whatever. I'm gonna be there. And hopefully, what I would say on Matt Fraction, his writing style is I feel like he has an intrinsic understanding of what makes a character beat, regardless of what character he has written. He's proven it with Hawkeye, like you were talking about. He's proven it with Iron Fist, kind of recrafting some of the background on that character. He did so with Iron Man, really like showing the struggles of Tony Stark in ways that previous writers had not been able to do. So he's got my faith without a shadow of a doubt. So I'm excited. We'll see where it goes. But with comics in this game, like it's not that one person, it's the whole team that puts it together. So we'll see what they're able to put together here and put out for us. All right. With that being said, though, let's move on to our next segment here, which is going to be our covers of the week. And I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with Conan the Barbarian, which was a badass issue, man. I loved this issue here, and I wish I would have gotten this variant for my PC because this is done by the great Jason Sean Alexander. Killer looking cover here, man. Great composition. Loved it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Second up, we have the Gotham by Gaslight variant here by Bill Sienkiewicz. Do I need to say any more when you drop old Billy S in there? It's just great stuff. Then we got, last but not least, at least for my covers, we have the Sanford Green variant for Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion issue #2. Arguably, the best part about this issue is this cover by Sanford Green. In fact,
I didn't even read it. I hated
#1
I hated #1 so much. I was like, I'm not even going to read this one.
It might be the only good thing about this issue here, but hey, if you're gonna buy it for one reason here, why not Sanford? You know?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Stu, talk to him, man. Tell us about your covers.
I got Gotham by Gaslight as well, but this was Sebastian Fiumara, who's done some beautiful covers, I think, on Poison Ivy in the recent past. So yeah, this one was dope. I just love the look of this Superman, and then Batman on a horse wins every time. Gabriel Del Otto doing Doom, one of my favorite Doom artists, as I've said many times before. I love this one for Fantastic Four #1, and I also got another Fantastic Four #1, Alex Ross. Man,
that's the one I got.
Dang,
yeah,
dude,
this one was freaking tastic, like just gorgeous. I love Ross. You know, you can feel his passion when he does the FF, one of his favorites, and it always comes through. He's been killing it on the Ryan North run of covers, and his full circle book is also incredible. And this,
so good.
This cover was so dope, so I had to throw that one on there. Yeah, dude, Savage Sword of Conan for me too, but Neil Adams on Savage Sword, like this was so dope to see, so I had to throw that one on there. I love when they pull the legends out and get kind of like some art I've never seen. So that's it for me this week, bro. Worth mentioning. You got anything to start us off with, bud? Because I definitely have something. I'm just
yeah, I got something. Yeah. Oh, it's a little bit heavy though. I got something worth mentioning here though, for sure. Here, in fact, I'm gonna solo myself here because the sucker is hefty. All right, let's see here. All right, Shade the Changing Man.
Oh shit!
Oh wow.
The omnibus came out as of today here, collecting the first 37 issues of this absolutely fantastic storyline written by Peter Milligan with artwork by Chris Bacallo. It's a glorious story. It is the most progressive story I think I've ever read in my entire life. And I read this at a formative time in my collecting and also in my, whatever, my just, growth as a person, right? It was in like my late teens, early 20s, and some of the things that they speak to in this book, just the nature of identity, gender, relationships. It is a weighty, heavy type of book here, all kind of sewn through the veil of madness, because that is what Shade the Changing Man is. He's powered by madness, and it's taking a Steve Ditko creation and really turning it on its head in a big bad way, as the British Invasion creators at Vertigo did in such an awesome fashion. I'm trying to find some kind of like double page spread to show you guys. I can't find one here, but the cover alone and some of Bacallo's artwork here, dude, it is stunning. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite storyline, my favorite, complete story of all time amongst all comics altogether. Wow. It is glorious. I recommend everyone read it and pick it up. I didn't even look at the price tag. I can't even tell you how much it costs, because I knew if it was $1 million, I was going to put down my hard-earned cash and get this, because it's just that important to have in your collection.
That's so cool.
Check out Shade the Changing Man. It is totally worthwhile. I can't recommend that enough here. So that's worth mentioning, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Stu, what about you, man? What you got?
All right, so I'm going to go with a TV recommendation. This one is a little bit old. The new season has been out for, I don't know, a month or two now. But Love, Death, Robots on Netflix. It is from David Fincher.
Okay.
It's all animated shorts, anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes long. And they cover all sorts of different things. All sorts of nihilistic, futuristic, robotic universes. There's also like creators that they highlight that return. I think they have like 3 or 4 seasons on there now that return and do these animated shorts or little clips in their own like aesthetic and their own style, and it's dope to see some of them return. But man, like some of the episodes are so crazy well done, and tell such an incredible story in the space of 5 to 15 minutes. I think that's with those like really good shorts, I'm always amazed at how much they're able to pack in such a short amount of time. So the animation on these is incredible. Each one is its own different distinct style. Some of it's just like straight up more anime style stuff. Some of it's something completely different, something you've never seen before, and it's a visual feast, each one of them. So, and David Fincher is kind of like the executive producer behind that. So with his name on it, it's got to be some quality. So, love Death Robots on Netflix is my worth mentioning for the evening.
I didn't know David Fincher was involved in that, man.
Yeah, dude.
That might have
I think it's
told me.
his production house. It's fire. Check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Nick, we're putting you on the spot. Do you have anything worth mentioning? Anything you want to shout out?
A couple things. So now that Superman's over, we have Supergirl to look forward to.
Yes.
So if you haven't read Woman of Tomorrow, to get there's a deluxe edition out there that has like a whole sleeve and everything with it with spot foil. It's just such a great collected read if you guys haven't gotten into that. And I will also say that Daniel Warren Johnson has a Kickstarter out for the art of Daniel Warren Johnson, right? So if you're into that whole thing, there's a soft cover, there's a hardcover, there's prints, there's all kinds of stuff. So check out Daniel Warren Johnson's Kickstarter for the art of DWJ. And then one more, because of you guys, I went ahead and pre-ordered My Favorite Thing is Monsters from Emil Ferris.
Yes.
So I went ahead and got that. There's a whole collection with a whole sleeve deal going on, hitting FOC on the 21st. So you might be able to get it through your shop if you have some, if they can get a discount on it or whatnot. So you could check that out. So I went ahead and pre-ordered that. So hopefully I'll get that one in my shop, but I'm excited to dive into that. But that'll hit FOC at the end of the week. So, definitely take advantage of that if you haven't yet.
Not an easy read, I'll tell you that much, but it is so worthwhile, man.
Yeah.
Very
excited.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm excited to put it on the backlog and get to it eventually.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
That's a good vacation book.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely it is.
I need to take it a vacation. That's the hardest part. It's actually
right.
One where it's not full of just crap to do all the time. Yeah.
No
but I'm excited for that one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we got Omega out here telling us here that Shade the Changing Man, the first 3 volumes are on Hoopla. So make sure you check it out, man. You don't got to buy these books all the time here. Hook it up with your local library. Get that library card. Check out Hoopla. I've read plenty of books that way. Also, if you're in Simpleton's area, stay the heck away from his ollies. You let this man buy his books so he can put out a hardcover, for God's sake. Jesus, come on. Y'all know the drill. And there you go. Supergirl is also on Hoopla. So yeah, check it out. Support your local library.
Yeah.
They're supporting you all out there. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Let's pop. Oh, okay. That's not the right button. Come on. Where is it? Where's the slide? It's gone.
Oh, here, I'll add it back. Did I take it away?
There we go. I couldn't find it at all. There we go. Okay. Cool. There's our worth mentioning here. For our next segment here, it's Eric Tech Talk, where he tries to find where slides are. No, it's Comics of Futures Past. Actually, very much inspired by the last episode of Surrounded by Short Boxes here, where there was an anniversary issue going over Superman issue number 400, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Yes,
there we go.
Yeah.
It's only right that a comic released on July 9th, 1986 was also Batman number 400. A lot of creators that are involved with this. It was really a spotlight, a showcase on the character that is Batman and one of his greatest villains, who we just talked about in Absolute Superman, being Ra's al Ghul.
Yep.
Yes, more important than the issue itself, because it was truly a milestone issue that was trying to showcase a lot of different creators. The coolest thing about this is that this was really the last iteration. This was the last time we got to see a pre-crisis version of Batman, right? This was like right before everything got retconned and reconfigured into the post-crisis era where New Origins took place. This is right before Year One reconceptualizes the origin of Batman. Awesome people that are involved with this book here. I can only spotlight, so many things here, but I figured, we talked about Bill Sienkiewicz here for one of the covers. I wanted to show off his artistic stylings here on the page itself here when Bruce and Roz are having a conversation. So really cool stuff, really great hallmark issue, if you will, to showcase on here. And again, it's the last hurrah of that time, that pre-crisis time where we had all these characters right before everything kind of got reconfigured. So I don't know, just a perfect spotlight, a perfect timing for, a little bit of synergy here between what is going on over on Surrounded by Short Boxes here. But I just wanted to spotlight Batman issue number 400, the anniversary issue with a litany of great creators. So that's Comics of Futures Past.
All-timer of a cover by Sienkiewicz there.
No
I know,
kidding.
I'm sitting here trying to look it up. I'm like, damn, that's why I don't have that one. I need to go find it somewhere.
And there's like a Virgin. I think there's like a Virgin out there of that one as well.
Dude,
I could be wrong on that.
That's nuts.
I could be wrong on that, but or I think I have the issue somewhere in here, and I think maybe on the back cover or something like that, it's that image, but without any of the the logo or anything like that. But
The trade dress.
Yeah. But luckily, we do have the trade dress. I mean, look at the people that are involved with this, right? Art Adams,
it's pretty complimentary. I like it.
Yeah, John Byrne. Like, oh my God. Like, we talked about Bill Sienkiewicz right there on the cover, right? Carl Kursel, Joe Kubert, right? Not Andy, not Adam, Joe Kubert doing the work on this one. Steve Leonardi, George Perez. Oh man, like this is like a murderer's row of creators.
Is Dick Sprang on there? Where's he at?
Hey,
I love those detectives. I love that little detective run that he did. It's so fun.
Yeah, so just wanted to spotlight that one. Definitely a Hallmark issue to be on the lookout for, if for anything, that cover alone, but much more.
Yeah.
All right, so that does it for our comics that we're going to be covering tonight. But today happens to be New Comic Book Day, which means that we have a whole bunch of comics that just released here that we're going to start reading if we haven't read most of them already. Guys, what's standing out to you? Nick, I'll start off with you.
Turtles is standing out to me. It's just getting better and better with each issue.
Turtles is so good.
Absolute Batman, because I'm just really interested in the world that we're in now, and Bane's here. So like, what does that mean? I mean, almost everything on here. Batman and Robin Year One, of course. We gush over that book constantly. Battle Beast has always been fun. Tin Can, I'm glad it's back, but damn if I remember what's going on exactly. So that's going to be interesting to check out and see if I remember what's going on. There's some other ones too coming out this week, like Ghost Pepper. I'm interested to jump into that one. That might be a fun book to check out. And then we have Imperial as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good books. Imperial's gonna be interesting because it's issue number 2, and it feels like it's been forever since that first issue came out, and I'm interested to see where this world's going, where the story is and everything. So not a pretty good list of titles coming out this week.
Yeah, I was excited on paper looking at this stuff here. Stu.
Yeah, on paper it's been great so far. I'll have my thoughts on Saturday. Yeah.
There we go. Stu, I'm curious, man. Is anything standing out to you? Is anything piquing your interest? Is anything
What are you trying to say, bro?
I'm just curious if any of these issues, maybe one.
All right, let me just go ahead and get it over with. All right. I read and enjoyed Ultimate Black Panther. So yeah, that was good. I might be back on that train. Nick, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
What Eric said something back chat. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. Yeah. So Ultimate Black Panther had to be good at some point. Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
I'm glad it's good. I don't want books to be bad. I'm happy. I'm glad. Maybe I'll jump back in.
Well, in that same vein, yeah, one thing I can say is that I was crapping all over Absolute Batman as well, and right before the show, I had to read it.
And it's fire.
It's really good, dude.
It's incredible.
I haven't read that one yet.
Absolute Batman, one of the best issues yet, and Dragata, like the
oh wow,
man, leveled it up. Like I thought that title page, like with the Abomination Part 2. Oh my God, there's so many spreads in that. So many. Batman and Robin Year One is incredible. We were gushing about that, like Nick said today in the back chat, about how much we love that book. Tin Can Society, I did read that one. That one was it's honestly not too hard to jump back into things there, Nick. I think you'll be okay. Yeah. New Gods, number 8, I'm excited for. Zatanna, Jamal Campbell's Zatanna, really enjoyed. What else? I've fallen off Wonder Woman. You guys still on that?
Well, if you go back, this is the issue to go back on, because I think this picks up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I haven't
still
read
there.
it yet. It's on my to read list, but I think that this is like the next place to start.
Besides that, I think that's my Red Coat. Hell yeah, Red Coat.
Red Coat
But
was solid. I read that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Besides that, I think we've covered everything else.
Nice. Yeah. A lot of good books here. Man, I kind of want to talk about Absolute Batman, but I'm going to spoil my little things for next week if I do. So I'm going to keep my mouth nice and shut for the moment here, but make sure you tune in next week here and you'll find out exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, a lot of good books. I haven't had the chance to dive into too much besides Ultimate Black Panther, Absolute Batman. I looked at Ghost Pepper a little bit while I was in the shop, but I haven't had a chance to read anything. Ghost Pepper looked pretty cool, man.
It is really good.
Yeah, that was
It's
the
good.
that was the artist that was doing the follow-up, or not the sequel, but the continuation of Battle Chasers that Joe Mad was writing. So stylistically, artistically, like very, very much in the same vein. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's very manga influenced for sure, and it's a double-sized issue. So, and the coloring is great. Lots of cool action, great characterization. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yep. We got Omega saying all the TMC covers are so yeah, that's no kidding. Like it's hard to figure out which cover you want to pick up on TMNT sometimes because there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening. And the turtles are so easy to give a cool style to as well. Like you can really get wild and crazy with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. New
We also
Gods this
had
week as well.
we also had Blood and Thunder #3.
Okay.
That one was coming out this week. We didn't talk about New Gods. Death of Silver Surfer. You guys super excited for that one?
It's palpable. I'm so there for that.
And then of course we have G.I. Joe coming out too. So
oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good books.
Yeah, y'all know I'm on the Phantom Road Express, so that book came out here. I'm still excited to see that one. I think we covered everything else here. I'm really hoping Absolute Flash turns it around. I want that book to be good, and I feel like I've given it more chances than I give most books.
Yeah.
So it's still on the pull list. We'll see where it goes from there. Also, and Omega's calling this one out. This ends tonight. Finally hit. I feel like that book was solicited ages ago.
Yeah.
And finally is now in our hands. So I'm kind of excited to see
what's that one about.
I don't even know, to be honest with you. It's got Jay Lee art written by Jerry Duggan. It just looks like it was a cool stylized cover, and I'm like, sometimes that's enough. Like sometimes that'll just...
Jay Lee's doing the interiors.
I believe so.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I haven't read it yet, so it's just Wednesday. So we're gonna find out though. If not, I'm gonna be disappointed, but we'll find out for sure.
That's dope.
All right. That does it this week for the comics we'll be covering here. But make sure you always check us out on the socials here, starting with patreon.com/ink and insights, where you get to see previews of the show, any kind of fun oddities that we might have coming out here, quarterly newsletters that are just a blast, in my personal opinion. Have a lot of cool stuff, including things like exclusive comic strips by none other than Monty Keene of Steel Streets and Superhero fame. So make sure you check that out here. We're diligently working on the next installment of that. Stu, talk to us about the thing that I was just talking about a little bit earlier here, man.
Man. Just hopped on the Superman hype train last weekend and dropped Surrounded by Short Boxes episode for Superman number 400. Crazy collection of creators inside of this one single issue, kind of as a ode to longtime Superman editor Julie Schwartz. Yeah, man, they got everybody for this thing. That's the ball in there on the left, Mobius in the middle, Frank Miller on the right, who did the back cover. They got Steranko, Byrne, Ballin, Bernie Wrightson, Sienkiewicz, Kirby. It's literally a murderer's row of all-time legends. Simonson. You got Superman meeting the Spirit in here. Will Eisner. It's jaw dropper after jaw dropper. So I thought it was a cool kind of slept on deep cut Superman issue to highlight for the release week. So go check that out at Dr. Doom's Fan Club on YouTube.
Nice. We didn't get any slides for you, Nick, but what do you got coming out, man? Where can people find you? What do you want to promote?
Just Comic Culture on YouTube and Instagram, Nick Comic Culture on Instagram, and then I have my double dip today, which was my Cadets video, new releases in FOC with my haul video, and then also Nick at Night weekly comic book review shows on Saturday nights, and of course, all new, all different Blame Fable show on Friday nights as well. We're doing a ladies month, so come check us out on Fridays. Have a good time hanging out with us, and yeah, popping up here on Wednesday nights with you guys, hanging out, having some fun, and yeah, whatever else. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, I hate to leave it on a somber note, guys, but we did have something that we needed to address and something that we needed to bring up here. And I feel like we kind of just need to rip the Band-Aid off a little bit. This is going to be the last episode of Ink and Insights that's going to be on 9-Panel Grid. It's been a heck of a run. I feel like we did a lot of good things, and I'm really proud of what we've put out. You know, I really think that we did something pretty stupendous. Speaking of stupendous, you can still check out Ink and Insights every single Wednesday on Dr. Doom's Fan Club here with Stu himself. And we're taking it off of 9-Panel Grid because we're premiering a brand new show here every single Tuesday night, starting August 5th here. Notes from the editors and Ink and Insights show, where we're going to be going over not the comics that come out every single week, but everything comic adjacent that you know and love here. And we're going to kick things off with our Mount Rushmore of comic book creators. We're going to be going over who we feel deserves a spot on the heralded Mount Rushmore for us personally, maybe how we view those creators, some of the works that they've done, and how we came to the decisions that we came to. So make sure you check out 9-Panel Grid every single Tuesday night for Notes from the Editors and Ink and Insights show, and Ink and Insights proper over on Dr. Doom's Fan Club every single Wednesday, just like you know and love right here and right now. So we're super excited to premiere this and have a good time with y'all here on another night of every single week here. So that does it for us. Otherwise, you can see all of my weekly comic book thoughts every single Sunday morning here on 9-Panel Grid. You can see the cover story every Tuesday morning, going over comic book news and all of the books that I plan on reading and the variants and cool other fun stuff that's going to be coming out. Guys, I think that does it for us, though. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for hanging with us. We appreciate you. If you're catching us on the rewind, make sure leave us a comment. Let us know what your favorite comic was of the week, and we will catch you all next week.
Thanks, you.